albizia flowers, water lily flowers, some cores, and pretty woman, pretty woman, how I like you, pretty woman. A note on pretty woman. Let me see if we can do this. A film that is funny to some extent, um, with a somewhat familiar theme, a big boost for the career of Julia Roberts, and I'm thinking Richard Gere. I've listened to a silly joke in one of the comedy programs. I think it was Bill Mile, dismissing, referring, hinting to that rumor that is supposed to circle with a gerbil that Richard Gere has something to do with that. He's using a gerbil or something with the ass or silly. Anyway, Julia Roberts is Vivian Ward, and Edward Lewis is the corporate raider, Richard Gere, businessman who is handsome, rich, attractive, stylish, but still he has trouble in keeping women near him because he's dedicated to making money and his profession, his job, and not nothing else, seems like. Until that is, he meets Vivian Ward, who is a prostitute. And so the premise, Usha, is that he hires her. He needs a companion. He has with his partner, who is actually the actor Jason, I forgot his name, George Constanza from Seinfeld. Um, um, he's doing some deals, and can he wants this. He likes the idea that he can pay. He gets money. This woman, and a pretty woman. Title is Justified, and she can be around for him, work, and at the end there are no strings attached, and they can say goodbye. There's no emotional breakdown, nothing, and it works up to a point. Until that is, of course, we've been there before. We know this story. I'm thinking more Flanders, wherein the same thing happens. The hero falls in love with a prostitute, even if there, well, like anywhere, we could say, she had to do it. It was not her. She was forced into it. Um, but we can also say that this happens in all cases. 95-90% probably do this because they lack the money. They don't see any way out. They don't have training, education, access to a better life. Some are, if we think poor countries are really doing this to avoid starving for the family, kids, and in the few percentage points wherein they do this because they want to, there are also psychological issues, from nymphomania to some obsessive compulsive disorder, to a need to feel in control because they think this is also a way to assert dominance. Anyway, I will not get into that. Just to say that I think the story interesting because I, for one, I don't know how conservative I am in general, but on this issue, this is my view. The oldest profession in the world is not despicable in any way. In fact, I thought a long time ago, looking around, that yes, we have these women who ask for $50, $100, 1,000, depending on various factors. Um, Luxury escorts, as they call it here, when they ask for hundreds of dollars, thousands, maybe cases. I don't know. But so there's the workers in the sex industry. But then on the other hand, we have so many people, men and women, who prostitute themselves for more money, or power, or both, or something else. And they just work with very few clients. Sometimes maybe exclusive, they have an exclusive, and they marry. But and I have a few examples from around here who just don't are often respected and envied because of doing, in my same thing as the sex workers, only as I said, for fewer clients, more money, sometimes an exclusive contract, which anyway tends to be in these situations. It's not everybody's doing that. I'm not saying something like that. It's preposterous, but there are a good many examples. And this exclusive contract is over a period of a few years, and then another marriage, another contract, and something aside in case. Anyway, to return, the plot is not complicated. I've mentioned it, and it's no spoiler here to say that the rich man begins to like the pretty woman. Well, we're talking Julia Roberts in her prime, and a pleasant romantic comedy. Not Casablanca, but good enough.